Karen laughed when I bought that lake shack for $5, actually laughed, like I just told the dumbest joke she'd ever heard. This morning she wasn't laughing. She was standing on my shoreline at 6:12 a.m. with 3 HOA officers, a survey truck, and the kind of smile people wear when they think they've already won. No knock, no warning, just orange boundary stakes stabbing into my yard like they were planting flags on conquered land. "Mr. Rayner," she called out, voice bright and smug, "as of today your dock is being reclassified as community property." She said it like she was announcing a bake sale. 12 years ago she called that place Rayner's Trash Palace, said the raccoons wouldn't even squat there. And she wasn't wrong. The roof sagged, the windows rattled in a whisper of wind, the whole thing leaned like it had given up on gravity. But my dad had fished off that busted deck as a kid. In the hospital 3 weeks before he passed, he squeezed my hand and said, "If you ever get the chance, bring that place back." "Some homes deserve a second shot," he said, just like people. I promised him I would. 2 months later, a tired widower handed me the deed for $5 and a handshake. Naomi, my wife, my better judgment, reminded me gently that we did not have Restore a Lake House from Hell money. We had bills. We had jobs that were steady, not spectacular. We had zero construction experience beyond assembling a grill. But promises carry weight. So we rebuilt it one cedar beam at a time. One paycheck at a time. One long, sunburned weekend after another. I cut boards until my hands blistered and healed and blistered again. Naomi became architect-accountant and quiet voice of reason. The dock got rebuilt twice, once with enthusiasm, once with experience. 12 years later, that shack stood tall, cedar steel glass worth $5 million on paper and every ounce of sweat I had left in my bones. And now Karen wanted it. Her officers spread out across my yard that morning like they were claiming new territory. One measured my dock. One photographed the deck. One hammered a stake dead center in my lawn. "Historic shoreline shift," Karen explained smoothly. "Your structure now extends into a community buffer zone." Community buffer zone. Naomi stepped out behind me, towel in hand, eyes sharp. She took the packet Karen offered and flipped through it. "Article 5B doesn't exist," she said calmly. "And this enforcement clause is from the pool maintenance section. Also," page 3 cuts off mid-sentence. One of the officers coughed. Karen's smile thinned. "Clerical error." "Several clerical errors?" Naomi asked. Karen adjusted her blazer. "You have 72 hours to sign." I didn't say a word. Silence makes controlling people uncomfortable. They left in a crunch of gravel and perfume. Naomi closed the packet, wind flipping half the blank pages. "We're not signing anything," she said. That was the first quiet win, just saying no. The pink slip started the next morning. Window glare violation, level 2 infraction. By noon, tranquility violation, our wind chimes apparently spiritually disruptive. The next day, unauthorized birdseed type. Then improper shoreline stone arrangement. They'd circled one rock in red like it was contraband. Every day, another fine. Mailbox aesthetic non-compliance. Lawn natural variation. Aggressive solar light angle. Naomi grabbed a binder and wrote in thick black marker the book of nonsense violations. We cataloged everything, time, date, code, photo. She added sticky notes. Birds must submit HOA resume. Rocks require permission to exist. It would have been funny if it wasn't building something darker. A paper trail, a pattern. Then the call came. "Mr. Rayner," the banker said gently, "we received a lien against your property. $93,000 for environmental shoreline damage." I sat down on the deck steps because my knees forgot their job. "Technical default? Credit line frozen. 30 days until foreclosure if unresolved. 30 days to lose the promise I made my father." Naomi didn't panic. She typed. She researched. She found the word erosion weaponized across 3 fake reports. "She's escalating," Naomi said quietly. "This is leverage." 2 nights later, the storm hit thick, bruised sky rain like fists on the roof. Power cut at 11:07 p.m. Scout, our old retriever, growled low and sharp, not at thunder, at something else. Metal clanked near the boathouse. I grabbed the heavy flashlight and a breaker bar and stepped into the rain. Halfway down the path, I saw 2 shadows. One crouched with a crowbar, the other shielding a flashlight. "Grab the samples," one muttered, before the next gust. Samples. They were staging damage. I flicked on the beam. Step away from my boathouse. The bigger one lunged, slipped on the soaked dock planks, went straight into the lake with a splash that would have been funny if it wasn't my life unraveling. The other bolted. Sheriff showed up, shrugged. "Civil matter." Civil. That's when I understood this wasn't about rules. It was about breaking us. 2 days later, Naomi said something that shifted everything. Do you remember your father's box? The attic box we'd shoved aside years ago. Rusted leather brittle papers. Inside were rolled maps. One stamped State Hydrographic Survey 1903. The original shoreline extended 20 feet farther out than it does now. Historic water boundary precedents. Our deed referenced it property rights tied to original shoreline measurement. If the lake receded naturally, the land gained became ours. Karen had built her entire case on the modern shoreline. We had the original. I laughed, shaky disbelieving. My father had saved the map without knowing it would save us. That was the twist Karen never saw coming. We didn't confront her immediately. We set a trap. Cameras hidden in driftwood under the dock and cedar branches. Solar-powered, cloud-backed, underwater motion sensors. Naomi encrypted everything like she was building a digital fortress. And then we painted the boathouse neon teal. Not subtle teal, glows in cloudy weather teal. The kind that would make Karen's beige soul twitch. On the third night, motion alerts buzzed. 3 HOA jackets approaching the boathouse. Dawn came sharp and cold 2 mornings later when they returned, this time with contractor's chainsaw, hydraulic cutter, laminated emergency safety order. They didn't know the drone was already humming upward. Thermal, 4K, red record light blinking steady. One contractor froze. This is an HOA protocol. Underwater sensor pinged a 4th man in goggles hacksawing supports from below. They planned to drop my dock from 2 angles. I called 911, voice steady this time. Sirens came fast. Supervisor in handcuffs. Contractors confessing on camera. Emails found in the truck, Karen instructing urgent removal before homeowner interference. Not civil anymore, the deputy said. The clubhouse meeting that week felt like Judgment Day. We projected the footage. The copied erosion reports word for word from another lake. Forged proxy signatures, neighbors gasping. That's my name, I never signed. Emails with her full name approving night operations. The room turned. People weren't whispering anymore. They were roaring. Karen pointed at me. He's undermining this community. Naomi replied, calm and sharp, or your empire. Vote to remove her happened in a tidal wave of hands. Court followed. Judge Whitmore unfolded the 1903 map, carefully tapping the shoreline line with one finger. The HOA's claim, she said evenly, is factually, legally, and historically incorrect. Lien fraudulent. Fines void. Board removed. HOA fined $60,000. Karen referred for fraud and conspiracy. The gavel struck once. Crisp. Final. Summer came back slow that year, like it was testing the water. The new board was elected by real neighbors. Doors got painted yellow. Wind chimes rang louder than any tranquility guideline. The Millers installed pink flamingos in protest. We replanted the shoreline, set stones back in place. The 1903 map hangs framed inside the boathouse now. Every time I look at it, I think about how power built on intimidation always forgets one thing: truth outlasts ego. Here's what I learned the hard way. Rules are meant to protect community, not control it. The moment someone starts using paperwork to silence people instead of serve them, that's not governance. That's fear wearing a badge. And fear only works until someone refuses to sign. We sit on the dock most evenings now, Naomi Scout between us, sun sliding into the lake. No orange steaks, no engines, just water brushing stone. Justice didn't come loud. It came steady. And when it did, it felt better than revenge ever could. But here's the question I keep thinking about. If we hadn't found that map, if we hadn't had proof, would Karen still be ruling that place? How many people lose their homes because they don't have a century-old document tucked away in an attic? Where's the line between enforcing rules and abusing power? I'd love to know what you think. Have you ever dealt with someone who used authority like a weapon? Did you fight back or walk away? Tell me where you stand on this. Because sometimes the difference between justice and injustice is just one person deciding they're done being afraid.